Ladies and gent. Oh my god, why is my camera not here? You're shitting me. Of course. Boom! Hey guys, welcome back. Hope you guys are well. Hope you guys are warm. Kicking it fly today. I don't know why I didn't have my camera pulled up. You know, we just doing things just a little differently here since we're on YouTube. You know, that's just how it is. Welcome to the new studio setup, guys. This is it. This is my place of peace. This is where I am when I'm getting down and getting dirty. And, well, pretty much gaming. I do a lot of gaming down here. I do a little bit of recording. A little bit of this. A little bit of that. This is the main screen here. This is a huge TV screen. It's not actually a monitor. There we go. It's propped up in the corner there. It's this big. Yeah. But it's great to see all of you guys. Thanks for swinging in. If you guys are new here, my name is Pigeons. And I like to... I enjoy lettuce. I garden a little bit. And I wanted to answer a few talk to you in regards to a few garden questions. You guys already know that I've got a bit of a garden going on in the back. Can't really show it to you, but if you take a look, it's right there. Yeah. So yeah, we do. There are plants in the videos, guys. There are. Yeah, there are. It's just unfortunately I got to keep them hidden behind that tent. But it's good to see all of you guys. Who we got in the chat? Justin's here. Andre's here. Drewzilla is in the house. Hillbilly Herb's here. Brennan's here. Toma's here. Lance is here. Kenneth, good to see you. Birdman, 117. Bart is in the building as well. Good to see you guys. Good to see all of you guys. Welcome in. Welcome in. I'm glad you guys are making yourself comfortable. If you wouldn't mind, do me a favor. Can you hit that thumbs up for me? It would be much appreciated. Not only helps me, but it also helps the live stream make it through the algorithm that is kind of content here on YouTube. You guys know that YouTube doesn't like this kind of content, so any and all support goes a very long way. So I appreciate you guys for doing that, man. I'll eat lettuce for that. Drewzilla, that's very smart. Yes. Amnesia, it's great to see you too. Welcome from everybody who's here from Twitch, guys. I do go live every single night on Twitch, or every single day, really, on Twitch. If you guys are around, twitch.tv/pigeons420. Come hang out, come chat. I'm on X, formerly known as Twitter, at pigeons420. Come follow me there as well. Where else? I think that's about it. Instagram. You can follow me over there. We just hit 12,000 followers. I think we're at like 12,300 something. So yeah, come on over. Come join the conversation over there. Because when I'm not here talking about this beautiful plant of ours, I am over there doing just that. And if I'm not there, I'm over on Twitch, streaming, talking herb. Yeah, something I love a lot. Earlier I went live on Instagram, and I was prepping for this, and I was getting a few grow questions and asking people what they were growing and what was going on, and we had a wicked conversation, and it brought up the conversation of identifying plant problems and addressing them, and really the course of action that I take to complete it without getting into the crazy gross science of it, because of course there's so much information when it comes to this plant on its inputs and, inputs, its outputs, its lifespan, its light cycles. There's just a lot to take on. Its anatomy altogether. Just the botany of the plant is incredible, but that's not for me. I have a way of identifying, getting myself through problems. Just recently had a problem in my garden with slight toxicity. The toxicity came because I was feeding an entire line of nutrients, and I was also giving it some of the stash blend. Been testing this stash blend. This is like my third or so grow with it already. So I've been trying to do the ups and downs to try to figure out, how much you can add and when and where, so that if you have any questions on stash blend, I can answer them for you. And if you're wondering what stash blend is, guys, the boys from the Stash and I, Chris and Rob, with the help of Growers House, have created the Stash Blend. This is an additive that you can add to your garden regimen. All you need is your base nutrients. You don't need all those extra bottles, man. You supply the MPK, and we got the rest. It's an incredible blend. Its pre-order is available right now. So if you go to stashblend.com, and I'll put the link in the chat. If you're watching this later on YouTube, the link will be in the description in the top of the link. So go check it out. You can pre-order now. But that also reminds me that there is a a product launch event for Stash Blend. Stash Blend on August 10th. Yep, August 10th. You're going to be able to come join us at twitch.tv/fromthestash. We're doing, I'm not even going to say the G word because, like, Lord help me, the comments will explode if I mention the G word, but it rhymes with runaway. Yeah, but it starts with a G. Yeah. It does not involve any apps, okay? Nothing whatsoever, all right? Just go to twitch.tv/fromthestash. Come hang out with us, and I believe it starts at 11. Sorry, I'm trying to turn on my laptop here. I believe it starts at 11 or 10 p.m. No, 10 a.m. Pacific. I've got the deets coming up, all right, so that we'll be able to get all the information. But yeah, I want you guys to be able to come check that out. Let me get you the link for that, actually. Twitch.tv/fromthestash. Right there, baby. Copy that. Put that right there. Boom, boom, boom. So right there, that's all you got to do. Go follow the link, and you'll be able to come check it out. 10 a.m. PST. Thank you, Drewzilla. And I believe that information is 100% correct because Drewzilla's a good guy, and he's always around. Soaking up that information. I appreciate you, brother. It's good to see. I see Girlfriend. I also see Chad in the chat. Good shout out to Chad Westport, man. Shout out to that man. I appreciate you, brother. I see Unleashed in the chat. I see you too over there, brother. I saw Basement Autoflowers in the tent too. Saw him over there, or in the tent. Yeah, we're all in the tent. That's what it is. Yeah, thanks for joining me here today, guys. Before I get started going into plant problems, and let me remind you that I'm 100% looking for your questions as well. If there's something that you want to add to the conversation in regards to a question that's been kind of stirring up or just you've had on your mind, feel free to put it down in the chat. I'm bringing up the chat over here as well so I can look at you guys and the chat without turning over here and looking at the chat over here. There we go. I got it. Yeah, so before I get into it, you guys already know, I want to give a huge shout out to the channel sponsors, okay? Pigeons 420 has only had two sponsors over the same two sponsors for the last 3 years. And if it wasn't for these companies, I would not be able to create free content and have just an absolute blast championing a plant that we all believe in, that not only brings people together, but heals people. So I just want to give a huge shout out real quick to the two best companies in the game. We got Spider Farmer, man. Huge shout out to Spider Farmer. Spider Farmer has been in my tent, like I said, for the last 3 years. Okay, I've used just about every single light that they have to offer. All right, from their SF series 2000 and up to the SE series to the G series. I've used just about all of them. Those are two Spider Farmer tents behind me. What a horrible look that is. Oh my God. What kind of operation are you running here, Pigeons? It's funny because my camera was not working. There we go. Anyways, I'm going to run with that. I've got their two tents behind me, and I love them, man. I love them. I got two 4x4s back there, and the latest 4x4 tent has much better upgrades in regards to being able to get the door fastened to itself, so I don't have to pin it up. You can unzip the door all the way around the tent to help for access and disassembly and assembly. It's awesome, guys. So if you go to spiderfarmer.com and check out their grow equipment, they've got some of the greatest lights for the most affordable price. And man, you're getting what you want, man. I use, like I said, all of these. I've got the SE 7000, the SE 5000, and I've got the SE 4500, which is a more affordable for a much smaller tent. So huge shout out to them. If you use promo code Pigeons420, you'll save a few dollars off at checkout, and you will be able to hook yourself up with the same equipment that I have as well. Also, a huge shout out to AC Infinity, baby. You don't have to go far because I'm always here. AC Infinity, man. My tent is regulated and circulated in like better than I ever could have expected because I'm using AC Infinity. They've got circulation equipment, they've got their ventilation equipment, they've got the smart controller. I personally use the controller 69 Pro, and I absolutely love it. Talks to my phone, and same thing. Go to acinfinity.com, use promo code Pigeon420, and booyah, you've got the best products in the game at your fingertips. Personal favorite isn't even the most expensive. It's that freaking humidifier. I personally use my humidifier in my tent. You don't have to. You can use the tube and go and hook it up, and it's pretty ballin'. It's pretty sweet. So acinfinity.com, go hook them up. Proud sponsors, man. I love them, and I appreciate them. But on Instagram earlier, you can follow me, Pigeons420, just a running promo code. You love it. I know you do. We were having a conversation in regards to plant deficiencies. And if you've been following me long enough, you know that I don't know how to identify the majority of plant toxicities or deficiencies. There's a lot of people that come into the chat, or a lot of people that come into my comment section, that are much smarter than me. And they can identify these problems much better than I can. People like Chris, Mr. Grow It, or Rob, for example, from Cannabis Lifestyle TV, two incredibly smart, well-versed people when it comes to this plant. They are really good. They'll be like, it's phosphorus P. I'll be like, oh, okay, sweet, thanks, man. Or they'll be like, a little more on the CalMag, a little less on the nitrogen, whatever it is. For me, I don't need to apply that much kind of analysis, if you will. There's always going to be a place for the people that do and are able to place that analysis. That's just not for me. I'm a regular dude. I love spending time with my family. I really enjoy working on my yard, on my lawn. Love cutting grass. I actually try to minimize how often I'm in the garden. I don't want to make things complicated. And if I am trying to sit and identify plant problems, that means that I have to sit and try to learn about plant problems. And like I said, that's not for me. I'm not interested in trying to identify markings on the leaves or the way the botany of it all works. Just not for me. And so I've learned over the course of the last 15 or some, oh, it's been longer than that. My wife and I have been together for 15 years now. Anyways, it's been longer than that. Wow, getting old here, folks. Anyways, over the course of the last 15 years plus, I've started to learn that there's ways to identify plant problems, and then there's just way to address them that don't involve getting very technical. And it's rather simple. It's rather simple, so it won't take me too long. If you have a toxicity in something, it's very distinct from having a deficiency in something. If your plant is hungry, it's going to be yellowing from the bottom up, and it's a very consistent yellowing because it's the anatomy of the plant. This is how much I have learned, is that essentially it starts using the nutrients from the bottom up. And as those nutrients start to get used, the plant reduces the color because it's eating that nitrogen. So it's a deficiency. A toxicity, so whether you've got, let's say, like you've been feeding too much, or let's even say that you've got an acidic pot or even an alkalytic pot, it doesn't matter. Maybe you've got a toxicity or a buildup in your pot. It's going to start to show you something. It could be deficiencies, it could be toxicities, but you're going to start seeing an inconsistency of coloring amongst the plant. It won't be that green anymore. It'll start to be yellow, but on the sides of the leaves, inside the canopy, on the top of the canopy. You might start seeing that browning, that crisping of the leaves. Maybe not on the edges, maybe in the middle. That's a good indication of a toxicity. Now, pigeons, why can't you show us this? How long have you been on YouTube? I'm sorry. There are plenty of good YouTube videos out there that'll show you the difference between a toxicity and a deficiency. I can't even, my channel is so locked up tight with suppression and censorship that I can't show you a herb leaf. The fact that I even have one in the thumbnail is pushing it, and I'm sure I'm going to get suppressed because of it. But anyways, I digress. So if you go over to my Instagram, these are other platforms which I am a little more able to be a little more free on my expression. I show you exactly the 4 plants that I have in my garden. They are toxic, and you can identify why they're toxic. And I go through it. But how do you address a toxicity? Okay, so maybe your leaves are curling. Okay, maybe you've got too much nitrogen. Maybe they're a really dark green. Maybe they're starting to crisp on the outside. Maybe they're starting to taco. Maybe you've got those brown spots in the middle. What do you do about it? Well, remember, it's very simple. You have a toxicity. What's a toxicity? You have too much of something. Okay, what is it? I don't know. I'm not here to try to figure it out, because the only way to remove one nutrient is to remove them all, and that's to apply water. Add more water. Now, I'm not saying just water like every day, like any different than you would regularly water, because if you do that, well, then you're gonna have overwatering issues. Water the same, but rather than incorporating any food in your regimen, just water. I got through this problem that I had with these 4 plants over the course of the last 2 or 3 weeks, and it was rough because I wasn't even looking. Like, I'm lazy, guys. I'm lazy, and people, my trolls in the comments section, be like, I told you. And it's like, I've been telling you the whole time. I don't know what you understand. A lot of people give me way more credit than I deserve. It is a very simple process to grow this beautiful plant. Some people just make it incredibly difficult, and bless their soul, because it's because of them that I'm able to learn anything. You know, and I get it. There's people for each type. You know what I mean? I know a little bit about law, but I'm not going to be a lawyer. You know, I know how to stomp out a fire, but I'm not going to be a firefighter. You know, so it's like, come on. So needless to say, when you're seeing these toxicities, apply water. So over the course of the last 3 weeks, as I mentioned, I was applying water, and I started to notice now that toxicity was changing. Now, those brown leaves don't go away. Those brown, the curling leaves, or not necessarily the curling, but the crisping, that leaf matter isn't coming back. What will come back, I got like little floaties of hair. What will come back is the color. So you need to identify at what point, maybe take a picture. This is why posting your content online really helps, because you'll have that consistent diary of progress. Sorry, brain fart. There was clouds passing around here before the stream started, I assure you. And so once you start to see that your plant, now we're identifying a toxicity, when you start to see that the coloring of the plant is starting to change. How is it changing? Well, you're just adding water, so it's losing its nutrient value. So the color of the plant is actually fading. It's getting less and less colorful. How's the new growth looking? Is the new growth, the stuff at the tops of all your tops, is it coming out green, light green? Does it still have spotting? That's going to be a key, is to determine when to stop just watering. So 3 weeks ago, I decided to start, it was about 2-ish weeks ago, 2.5, started just water. That's when I started, and it was just yesterday, maybe a couple days ago, that I started to see that, okay, the toxicity was changing. Now, rule of thumb, now use your equipment. You can easily determine if your toxicity is changing by testing the runoff of your water. Is it coming down? Are you at an 8.8? Are you at a 4.6? Are you at a, well, bring it back up. Bring it back up to 5.5, 6.5, whatever your medium is going to take. 7, mine is 6.7, 6.8. It works great for me. But that's me. So don't take my numbers. That's my pH, potential hydrogens. Let me get that right. So that's me, right? So you can't take that. If you're an organic, you might need a 5.5. If you're using a different line of synthetic, you might need a 7. I can't see you going too much higher than a 7, but maybe you need a 7. I'm not sure, but that's why you're going to read the nutrient pack on the back of your or guide on your nutrients, whether it's bottled, whether it's bagged, whether you use them Build-A-Soil, they all have a recommended dose. So make sure that that's what you're following. If you have questions about your nutrients, ask the nutrient company. Don't ask the internet. Ask the nutrient company. Any company that's providing nutrients to the world will have no problem answering your questions. Okay? So go to them and figure it out. So when you start to see that your plant is starting to change color, that's when I've now started to add in my base again. Started adding back in the NPK. And then, you know, I started, I was messing with my light and stuff because my one was starting to stretch. So I brought it down. They did not like that. So I had to raise them back up. So I was also seeing a tacoing. That tacoing can be related to a number of different things. But because I was doing things, I had to remind myself that, all right, the reason you're seeing these changes is because you're making these changes. And if you're going to make changes, make one change at a time, not two or three, because trying to identify what the hell happened based on what you just did is very difficult. So I know I went through a lot there, and the exact opposite is true for identifying a deficiency. So what are you deficient in? Well, depending on what you're using. If you're organic, well, maybe it's going to be a little more difficult to identify. You might have to do that. See, this is why I'm a synthetic guy. I don't have to identify anything. I got bottles for that. I'm just going to mix my nutrients, put them in the... So if I've got a deficiency, I'm going to feed more, right? Feed more. It doesn't mean feed everything more. I start low. Start at your base and work your way up. Some companies have 3 bottles, 5 bottles, 7 bottles. I know now with your stash blend that you pre-ordered, you don't need that many bottles. You just need your base bottles, which is typically like 2, maybe 3. And Stash Blend's got you covered for all that other stuff, guys. Everything else. Your mycorrhizae, your beneficial microbes, like 4 of them. Polymer to help it take it all up. Not to mention, some of these fungi, the bacteria is actively sucking nitrogen out of the air. So it's like, just go get it. I know you're going to love it. Okay. And then when you do go get it, take lots of pictures. Okay. And send it to us because I want to see them. And test it, and everything's on the bag too, so you can see, and yeah. But if you have any questions, please reach out to us. But in regards to identifying your plant problems, do you have any questions? Do you have any comments on that? Is there a way that you find that works better for you, or are you organic and you have no choice but to be able to identify these problems? Because I could see how someone who's organic unfortunately needs to know. I say unfortunately, I'm harping on organic here, but let's be real. A lot of the times you're not going to have these problems with organic because the soil's doing a lot of the work for you, right? But anyways, that's my very monkey brain limited experience when it comes to organic. Yeah, organic. Nature is good. Yes, nature is great. If Birdman, if legalization goes federal, will YouTube love us more? I have no idea. It depends on how much money they can suck out of our industry. I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud? Sorry, I retract that statement. Live still? Lieutenant, we're live still, baby. We are live still. Yeah. Knowing what nutrients are mobile and immobile is a huge help. Drew, you're absolutely right. Also, yeah, and knowing the breakdown, right? You're absolutely right. And that's why pH helps. Nature gives me free shrooms every spring. There's nothing wrong with that. Mr. Burns, hell yeah, nature's amazing, brother. Enjoy. Been over at the FCP farm the past few days. Just being there makes me so happy. It's beautiful, just flowers everywhere. Yeah, huge shout out to, I recently did a garden tour at Natural Earth here in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, and they're a living organic soil growing commercial producer. So they have a federal license to produce product and ship it across the province and the country and so on and so forth. And man, let me tell you, I've been invited to a harvest on the 11th, I think. And oh boy, let me tell you, their plants are absolutely gorgeous, just oozing with resin. It was just nasty. If you check it on my IG, I posted a bunch of videos of me strolling through their garden. And oh, it was fun, man. It was fun. And it smokes so good. It smokes so good. Like I'm telling you that there is a shift in the industry right now where craft is taking over. And we actually, I have another podcast. I'm sure you guys have heard of it. It's highly motivated. And Chris from Black Tie Canna and he's a dispensary owner. We sit down and we hash out everything about the industry, the product. I've pretty much ironed out the audio now. So if you were there before, and I've pretty much got it ironed out now. So If you want to come and check that out, I encourage you to come and listen to the conversation. Chris is a really great guy. A lot of people think he's my brother. He is not my brother. Um, he's just a really good friend of mine. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's podcast style. Episodes are anywhere between 30 and 40, 50 minutes. Kind of same as From the Stash. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. We're at 642 subscribers. I just looked it up, but that's the channel. And actually, the conversation we're going to have tomorrow is with these growers. There's two growers that are at the table with us, or I guess in the room with us at the time. There's Tim from Sweet Leaf, I believe is the name. God, I hope I'm saying that right. And he grows entirely living organic. Dana from Natural Earth, he grows synganic. So he's living organic with synthetic supplements. And these guys are so smart, man. It was really cool to dive into. One's from British Columbia, so the other side of the country, and one's from Winnipeg, Manitoba. And that's Central Prairies, like Central Canada. So very cool, man. Very cool. It was very cool to sit down with them. And that interview posts tomorrow on Highly Motivated. And the last episode that we posted was the conversation about what makes good weed. That posted 6 days ago. Go and check that as well. Channel's growing, man. Channel's growing. I think you guys would like it. I think you guys will like it. I know I struggled with the audio at the very beginning because this studio wasn't ready for a a show in it. Just a whole lot of reverb. But I got it. He looks like your brother. I know, I get that a lot. Yeah, we get that a lot. Yeah, we get that a lot. He is not my brother. No relation, even a little bit. Chuck Miller, what's up, pigeons? Why would half of a leaf be lighter than the other? There's a name for that, Chuck, and I've heard it, but have since forgotten it. It could be just a oh God, not an abnormality, but and just an irregularity kind of thing. You know what I mean? It doesn't necessarily mean anything's out. Variegation, variegated. Thank you. I probably didn't say it right, but thank you. Yep. Variegation. Yep. First, you got it. Yeah, you got it, Lieutenant. You got it. Thinking about going from 7 gallons, Toma. Thinking about going from 7 gallons to all 3 gallons, doubling the plant count. What is the best drawback doubling plant count besides twice the work? Oh, you know what? This is something that I've decided not to do. I think 3-gallon pots are too small, personally. And power to you. You know, Sea Green is a very valid technique, and I ain't saying it. I ain't gonna harp on it. But you know, 3 gallons a bit small. I much prefer a larger plant, or not like a larger plant, but like a medium-sized plant that's going to bear me at least a few ounces, rather than having 3 plants bear me 3 ounces, you know? So, yeah, the drawback is you're feeding more, you're watering more, because you have to water 3 instead of 1. They might not water or feed at the same pace, so you might be adding food to one week that you don't have to add it to others another week, and it just gets off schedule, so then writing things down becomes a thing. Yeah, you know, it's really preference. It's really preference. I personally think it's too much work, but again, remember, I'm not the guy that's trying to get in the garden more often, right? My analyses, there we go, are based on less time in the garden, not more. Yep, there you go. Negative side effects of the plant can't create chlorophyll in the cells. Yep, there we go. Yeah, that sounds about right. I just went from Lance says, I just went from 4 gallon to 7 to help with CalMag issues before the end of flower, and I just got 6 ounces of plant in a 4 gallon. Nice. I'm not saying you can't. I'm not saying you can't. You're just in the, like, it's like the same with the solo cup challenge. Ask me if I'd ever do a solo cup challenge. Not a chance. Why wouldn't you do a solo challenge? It's too much work. It's too much work. You're watering that plant 3 times a day. I got better things to do. I like to go places. You know what I mean? So, you know, if you're at home, you're doing the thing, you're there, you're going to be at home for a few weeks, and yeah, do it. But it's like, yeah, personally, bigger pots, just make it easier for me. Make it easier for me. Bigger pots, bigger plants. Now, I like good weed. Variety comes second to that. Oh, I shouldn't have said weed. Variety comes second to that. So for me, I harvested a pound of this Dreadnought OG, and it was amazing. It was fantastic. I didn't mind it at all. Some people need a little bit more in the variety section, shout out to my boy Rob. So having that much of one would, don't get me wrong. I know if he had something good, that Surebanger or something, he'd be like, yeah, give me it for days. But you know what I mean? I like variety too. That's why I've now got like 7 different buds on me now. Allegedly. Buds as in like roses. YouTube, settle down. Okay? Bigger the roots, the bigger the fruit. That's a legitimate statement. That's a legitimate statement. Yep. Pigeons, what is considered feeding like is? Reg, the mechanic fool. What is considered feeding? When I add nutrients. So when a watering is when I just water, and my regimen is pretty solid. So hear me out as follows, okay? This is for me, this is my experience. Don't want you to judge your calendar on this, but this is how, in my environment, in my area, this is how gardening works for me. Every 3 days, on Monday, I water. That means I add just water. Maybe you have a supplement, it's like the Stash Blend or something else. There's other ones that you're adding with the watering. That's fine. But that's just a watering. Then on Wednesday, so Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, generally it's it's every 2 or 3 days. Now with the bigger pots, it's that 3rd day. So by Wednesday, Thursday, it's going to be a feeding. So what does that mean? That's going to be water added with nutrients, or nutrients added with water, or whatever. So that at that point, I'm going to feed that, and then 2 to 3 days after that, I water. So I typically do a water feed, whatever the plant wants. I have done feed. It's fine. It doesn't bother. As long as you're getting runoff, it wasn't an issue. I think that's a waste of nutrients. I don't think you have to do that. If the plant isn't asking for it, don't give it to it. That's crazy talk. So yeah. There's a common misconception that you can't add available nutrients in living soil organics. Yeah, Mr. Burns, I don't know the science on it, but my boy Dano over at Natural Earth, they're doing it. And their wheat is awesome, man. It's so good. And I love this guy's literally like shy of taking it off the branch, and it's going from the branch to the dry room to the tubs to me, Maybe there's a little cure on there. So is anything that I add to my water considered like a feeding? Not necessarily, but if you're adding something to the water and nothing to your feed, then yeah, I would say you're feeding every watering. I run 2 plants in a 4x8 and 5 gallons of cocoa, and I always get weight and pigeons 420. You've seen my gardens. Yeah, you're absolutely right. 100%. 2 plants in a 4x8. 5 gallons, I've always said 5 gallons is the perfect size. Now, I'm starting to waver from that, and I'm actually starting to believe that 7 gallons is a perfect size. And that's because I go slightly larger with my plants, right? So I'm generally going to have a 7-gallon pot. 10 is a bit large, and then that narrows down to the number of plants I can have in one space. 10, you're really only going to get one plant in there. That's a big pot, right? So you might get 2, but then what's the canopy look like that you got 2 in there? That's all I want to know. But You know what I'm saying? So 5 works great for space, works great for size if you're able to get into the garden every second day. So Monday, if let's say sometimes you don't have to water on Tuesday, you're watering on Wednesday. That's kind of the routine. It works in a 5-gallon. But let's say your humidifier runs out of water and you didn't notice. Well, guess where that humidity's going from your pot, right? To the air. I find that's one thing when I go to look at my dial, my AC Infinity controller on the wall, if my humidity is down, so let's say for example, typically it's set 60, actually I'll tell you right now. Okay, it's a little hot. It's 73. So it's 73 in there right now. So that's a little high. Granted, I did just close the door. I'm trying to figure out why it's high because it's not normally that high. But I did just have the door open before the live stream and all that stuff too. So that's probably something to do with it. But typically I'm like a 65 to a 68, 60, somewhere in there. Because I'm in veg, right? So, and I had 4 plants in there. I've got good air circulation as well. For some reason, if I go to look at that controller and I see that it says 59 or 55, my heart sinks. My heart sinks. I know that when I go to open that tent, you know what those plants look like? I can guarantee it. Maybe not that drastic, but you can almost guarantee if it's so yeah, you can tell these things. So yeah, when you start to figure it out, typically in a 5-gallon pot, based on the canopy size, you're going to be watering every 2 days, like Monday and Wednesday kind of thing. So every second day. That's a better way to put it. Great questioning. Great questions. G says, Pigeons, what's your steps for prepping for flower? I'm 2 weeks from flipping my strawberry train wreck. I'm in a 20-gallon living soil organic. Wow. So that plant must be fairly large. What's my preps for going to flower? Well, you definitely want a good trim. I like to make sure that I've got no unnecessary foliage on my plants. That's one thing that I need to do with these. I actually flipped them live on Instagram this afternoon, so I have not done that. So I will make sure that I go in there and I will strip everything off that plant. Well, no. Let me dial that back. Not everything. Everything that I just said. All the insignificant growth. Tops that aren't going to bear any fruit. Because I don't want those bottom buds. No time for that. Get me out of here. I'm not going to waste my time. So I strip any of the bottom unnecessary shoots off, and the leaves all come off. Most of the leaves, not all, but I just want a canopy. I don't want a bush. And so that's number 1. Number 2 is switch the lights over, just a flip, just a switch. As soon as the next feed comes up, that's just flower nutrients. Some people have said, and I think this is 100% unnecessary. Some people think, I carry my nutrients 2 weeks into flower. That's stupid. That's stupid. That's stupid. You need to remember that these companies take your transition into consideration. You're not growing with Miracle Grow here, people. We're using stuff that's designed to grow great product, and they take that flip into consideration. So that's why you'll still notice that you're using some of those same bottles and some of that same nutrients earlier in flower. And then you're weaning off, your CalMag by week 6 and so on and so forth. So don't do that. Just if I do a feed on a Monday and I flipped on a Wednesday and I watered on the same day, that Friday after the flip, that's the first week of flower food for me. But again, I'm a synthetic grower. What kind of par do you like to have? That's out, Curtis. No, that's outside. That's too far for me, man. And I respectfully would direct you to somebody who has any idea what par is. Shane from My Grow. I can tell you what par is. I don't give two shits about what par is in my garden. I would point you to Shane from My Grow. I would point you to Chris, like Mr. Grow It. There's some really smart cats out there when it comes to these LEDs and stuff. These lights are so bloody powerful that I am not concerned even the slightest the par. I'm using massive lights. I'm more focused on VPD. You know, I want my temperature and my humidity to line up so that, you know, everything is available for that plant. That's more important for me. But that is a legitimate question, and I think if you're using lights of all sorts, you're trying to spread across a bigger a canopy, then maybe that's a bigger question. But Shane doesn't even grow weed. Oh yeah, you don't. It doesn't matter. You don't have to. You don't have to grow weed to be a smart son of a gun. You know what I mean? Pigeons, what's your opinion? Good question, Jeet. Dave, what's your opinion on top feed synthetic versus bottom feed synthetic, like autopots? I just think one's coming in through the bottom and one's coming through the top. I don't think it's really a big difference, you know, as long as you know, one's being taken. You know, actually it's funny, went way back when I started, there was this, not necessarily a rumor, but there was this idea of like, what's it called, submerging the entire pot. So people would get a tote together, and they would mix a whole bunch of water and nutrients, and then they would put the whole pot inside that, and it would just soak the whole thing. And I think you're probably going to get the most coverage, because like even from top watering, you know, like it finds those channels and it just kind of like finds its way to the bottom. So I don't believe you get the most coverage, and I would say that's the same for the top or the bottom. Sorry, I honestly, I really don't know. I really don't know. As I try to hammer this out, this is just science, bro. I can't figure it out, bro. I don't know. I don't know what's better, man. I can't say I've tested, but I gotta be honest. I don't think it's a big difference. I think if you water slow from the top, it's going to be this very similar as from the bottom, because I want that whole pot to be saturated, you know? Good questions, guys. Good questions. Got me thinking, though, man. And just because I don't know doesn't mean there's not an answer out there. I do a lot of Twitch. Yeah, what platform are you live on more? G asks. I never get notifications from the stash on Twitch. Well, I am on Twitch. I'm on Twitch every single day. Every day. I have been taking Wednesdays off, but even Sundays I'm live, and I'm not live in the night. We do wake and bakes on Sundays. So a lot of gaming content. I want you guys to know, okay? This is my flower content. This is my gardening content. This is my vlog content. This is my life content. This is everything to do with me and this plant and this way of life. Twitch is different. Twitch is this plant and my social life and my let loose and my, you know, R&R, my rest and relaxation. That's what Twitch is. It's not the same. A lot of people go over there and be like, what the fuck was this? This is all gaming. Yeah, I do a lot of gaming, guys. A lot of talking, a lot of chatting, a lot of just chatting. Yeah, man, it's a different experience. So I just want you to know, every platform is different. One thing I've tried to learn as I try to navigate the social media as a career, if you will, or production as a career, is that, you know, having the same content on different platforms doesn't really do anything. Why would anybody go from one platform to another if they can just get it all from one? So I like to change it up. You follow me on Instagram, that's entirely different. That's more me experiencing in the garden content, life content, you know, family content, you know. Can you answer your next question with interpretive dance? Keith, it's always a pleasure to see you, brother. No, not today. Maybe though. Maybe. Yeah, the butt chug. Yeah, Bill, you're right. That's what they call that. Maybe. Keith, it's got to be a good one though. It's got to be a good one. All right. I need longer questions. I got more questions up here. I got 22 inches of comments of questions. Jinx, must not. They must have sent me regular seeds. Is that normal? I prefer regular seeds myself. I second his instructions. Oh, you guys are animals. How are the outdoor plants going? So far, so good. I've only been there like 3 times since they've been planting, but so far, so good. I got to start feeding them like flower nutrients more. Like I got to feed them more, but other than that, they don't look like they need food. They're just not exploding with growth. So I was like, I guess I got to feed them every day or something. You know what I mean? But we'll see. They're okay. They're surviving. Lance says, you'll never know until you try, and it's not that hard, so try, or you'll never know. Yeah, I second that, man. Yeah, 100%. I test the water with both feet. If it sounds easy, and it sounds comfortable, and you're not going to try and challenge yourself, don't do it. It's not worth it. You know, you want to go and do things that are going to challenge yourself. I want you to chase your dreams. You know, I know it sounds a little cliche to say, but you know, hustle, man. Chase your dreams. We're only young once. Go get it. You don't have to be the slave to anyone, you know. And the sooner we start to kind of like start to think about that and realize, wait a second, you know, I don't want to work for anyone else. I want to work for me. I want to work for my family. I want to work for, you know, someone I know. You know, that can change you. Can change you. So keep it up. Do you make any concentrates? I do, but I can't talk about it here, Justin. Yeah, I did talk about it. What I would recommend is if you guys are done, after you guys are done watching this, go check out my Instagram. And I just did a live stream over there. It was only a few minutes. It was like half an hour, I think, 20 minutes. And I talked about that, and I can't talk about it here. YouTube doesn't like that. Pigeons doing DWC. What makes you think I would have anything to do with DWC? I can barely spell that. I make FPE and FPJ, and it's secret sauce for my plants. Okay. I don't know what that is, Curly. I don't know what that is. Not quite sure. They were small to start, Pete. Yeah, Matt, you're absolutely right. My outdoor girls, that's one thing I learned. That's one thing I learned with these girls was that they needed to be like this. You know what I mean? Before I sent them out. And they weren't. They were really small. So that's one thing I'll do better for next time. I have one, Matt. I'll release that next. Yeah, I actually have one. I'll make a bet. I'll make a better one. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I will. If you guys don't know, I do have a Patreon as well. My Patreon is a place where you'll see all of my uncensored content. All the old YouTube videos, guys. I know a lot of you guys don't know that I have old YouTube videos because some of you guys have come from the future. But if you're curious and you want to come hang out, this is a direct connect to me. If you have any grow questions, you have any issues or anything you want to just hash out or what, come on over. Do you still have your girls outside? Yep. And come check it out. All old videos. The last one, like old videos, but we posted one. Have you touched your plants today? Yeah. Come check it out. I'm gonna fix this screen here though, because this is embarrassing. I had issues getting started. There we go. There we go. Righto. So come check out Patreon, man. It's a pretty sweet spot. And this is I have all my garden content over here as well. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. And come check it out. I think you'll like it. I do. Take me to higher places. Oh, I certainly will. You certainly will. The biggest thing that helps keep a notes. Oh, the biggest thing that helps keep a notes. Yeah, keeping notes, a diary, a document of what's going on. Yeah, I totally agree. Got to lock those layers so they don't move on accident. Well, Superior, actually, you're right. But when I started up the stream, oh my god. YouTube is so much more difficult than Twitch is. YouTube like it needs me to go live on my equipment first, and then it just automatically goes live on here, and I wasn't ready. And so is that live stream still on there actually? I'm deleting that. I wasn't ready, and I was like, "Oh my god." Yeah, right here. 1 minute. All right, we'll delete that. Delete forever. Oh gosh. I know, this is not suitable for most advertisers. I want you guys to know. This is bad content we're talking about. That's why we're never live over here, for the record. You can click the box to disable auto start on scheduled streams. You can click the box to disable auto start on scheduled streams. Yeah, this one wasn't scheduled. I just brought it up. I'm sure there's... I don't go live here. YouTube doesn't like us very much, so I don't go live here, like, at all. Water curing and trim bowls. Just don't. Well, actually, I don't mind trim bowls. I don't mind trim bowls at all, actually. I was a hater until I tried one. And then I took my pound harvest and I turned it into, like, a 3-hour event. I was like, oh my god, yeah. But water curing? Yeah, no thanks. Not unless you're drinking the water afterwards and throwing the weed out. Isn't a fancy way of washing hash? No. Actually, as a matter of fact, Chris's video is doing way better.
What's
like
going on, everybody?
60 plus 1,000 views in 4 days, but there's mine, and I know his will be recommended after. This is water curing. So yeah, yep. And it's much different than bud washing. Yep. She's almost gonna. Yeah, that's a big girl. How big is Matt? That's a big one. Yeah, you're gonna need some work on that. How bad is real trim jail? This is my first MMJ grow, and I'm scrogging a 3x3. Oh, you're gonna find out. Let's just say the enthusiasm of harvest dies very quickly. Yeah. It gets old fast. It gets old fast doing that. I'm just like, ugh. I've been invited. I've been invited to. Oh, hold on. I can put this. Oh, no, I can't. I've been invited to harvest parties, and then I'm like, but it's only because I need help. Then I'm like, okay. Novelty dies quickly, especially a perpetual grow. Yeah, it was about the 4th harvest that I was like, yeah, no thanks. That's a no bueno for me. Buying trim bins for family members is a gives back. Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, you're probably right. Put on some long form content. Yep, sit back and enjoy. Yeah, you're right. Yep, sit back and trim. Yep. Trim bowl saves a lot of work, mate. Yeah, I haven't tried the trim bowl myself. Sorry, the trim bowl works great. I haven't tried the trim bins. I haven't tried the trim bins. But like I said, after trying a trim bowl, I'm pretty much up for anything now. Pretty much up for anything now. Because I used to hate on them, and then now that I've got it, I was like, yeah, I'll probably use this forever. Yep. What about the can of brush? It's expensive if I'm not mistaken. But I'm not certain. I don't know if I've seen it at MJ BizCon or not. It's a barbecue brush. Oh, okay. No, I don't know. Extra seat on the next harvest party. It's a silicone barbecue brush. Really? And you just rub it over the plant? That's a no for me, dog. What's the difference, though, I guess? I don't know. Do you prefer wet? Dry. I dry trim so I can retain all the moist. I used to be a wet trim kind of guy, but no, I like to retain as much moisture and plant matter as possible so that I can increase the dry period. Yep. Yep. Um, because if anything, I've tried like I struggle to get over a 5-day dry, and so keeping it as a whole plant just increases it to like that 7 to 10, which is perfect. Yep, dry slower. Yep. 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 I found a barbecue brush breaks apart the buds too. The fingers on the canna brush are differently shaped. Okay, okay, okay. Canna brush. I can't show you it because there's going to be herb in the picture. Okay, here I can show you this one. No, unfortunately there's herb on this. And I can't. No. Every row has herb. Oh, can I make it smaller? Here, I'll save the image. Oh, that's it. There we go. So, yeah. It's $44. That's ludicrous. Or 4 interest-free payments of $11. $40. I don't want to go any farther because I might see stuff. I can't show you that weed's the devil. You know that. It works, and that's good. If it does, that's great. It's crazy that once you put a green, it gets a green price tag on it. Is that Canadian? Probably not. No. Probably not. So that would be, it's like $60 for me, 55, $60 for me. Yeah, that's a no for me, dog. Do you trim the leaf off when wet and hang the whole plant to dry? I try not to trim off anything when I hang it. The more you leave on, the better. I'll take off any like dying leaves, like any brown or crispy leaves, but other than that, no, I'll just remove the dead. No, I'll leave everything. Sorry. Do you do any KNF? I've made fermented fruit. Nah, Korean natural farming. No. I made fermented fruit juice, and the girls are raging. Nah, man, that's outside my wheelhouse, friend. That's outside my wheelhouse. Yeah. Nah, pigeon sticks to Canadian natural farming. Yeah. No, I wouldn't even say that. I'm sure that's a process. $44. Holy crap, it was $15 in the States. Oh, maybe that was Canadian. I don't think it is, though, because this is going to be an American website. Oh, no, it's .ca. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's Canadian. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, this is from some hydroponic store. So this is why homework's important. It's $25. $25 right now. So that's consistent with the $17. Do you enjoy edibles? Does this work? Oh yeah, I'm on this one. Do you enjoy edibles? Not really. They don't really do anything for me. I was using them a little bit at nighttime, but I don't really think it does anything. I need about $350 for this brush. Inventory equals it's a barbecue brush, cannabis industry. No, it's a trim tool. Charge 175% markup. Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's the problem with the green price tag is once you put herb on it, it's it becomes ridiculously marked up. And it's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Um, but only thing we can do that's like I remember when I reviewed the Trim Daddy. It was like a electric set of trimmers. And my biggest criticism was that it was so expensive. Have I ever used Rick Simpson oil? Oh yeah. Yep. Yep. Up here in Canada, it's not hard to get a hold of. Yeah, beaver skins don't buy much. No, 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 no. They don't get you very far out there, eh? Yeah, BS markup for the herb version. It is. Yeah, it is. It is. Yep. Were they like $450? Yeah, it was like 300 or something stupid. Yeah. Edward Pigeonhands, you remember that, huh? I like tried to chop off a carrot or a cucumber. I put a cucumber in the glove and I was like, these aren't going to do anything. And of course, they did a little bit. What's your faith in genetics with people really knowing where parent cultivars came from? I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I got to be honest, man. I really don't think anyone knows where anything comes from. But what does it matter though? You know what I mean? What does it matter anymore? It Everything's being renamed. Everything's diluted enough. There isn't even a sativa or indica variety in any real sense anymore. There is, but no, there isn't. So it's like, what does it matter? It doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter. It only matters to those from the industry. So, if breeder A takes a genetic 1 and a genetic 2 and he makes his genetic, but he thinks it's from genetic 1 and 2, what does it matter? You know what I mean? What does it matter? Because it's not. If it's not, it is not. So I don't know. I don't have a whole lot of faith in anyone's naming and genetics, or not naming, identifying. So, yeah. Hey, if people are going to buy it, you might as well supply it. Yep, I guess. Yep, I guess. Whom is the best Canadian breeder? Is there a good place to get clones? Oh, Tom, there's so many, but no, there's no legal place to get anything here. There is no community, or not, sorry. There is no industry for clones, genetics. Like it's done. Like it's flat. Like you have to select a certain particular genetic from a list that's provided by the government, which is going to be provided by some company that pays the most amount of money, and or whoever knows who and what have you and whatnot. So the legal industry in Canada has pretty much killed all of that. So yeah, unfortunately, is there still a thriving community? Yes. The legacy market will never forget. The legacy there's a very well and very thriving market in Canada. It's just not the legal one. What's the next cultivar you're thinking of running? Oh, Barry. I'm not totally sure, to be honest. I haven't thought that far ahead. I'm still running what I've got, and that's kind of how it's always been, is I just run what I have. But I did put a video out on some things that I want to try this year, and I wouldn't mind getting my hands on anything from, People Under the Stairs, Prism Labs. There's a few. Yeah, there's a few that I wouldn't mind getting my hands on. Mindy, Anguria, Mindy, hi, newbie here. Why would one grow a regular bean versus a feminized bean unless looking for pollen? Mindy, stability is really the only reason I I would give to that is I personally don't like growing feminized seeds, and I don't even breed. I don't mind having the stability of a regular plant. When there's a theory, if you will, out there that, you know, when you feminize, the process of hermaphroditing the portions of a plant and creating a feminized seed, you are introducing hermaphroditic traits to the genetics that might not have otherwise been there. So that's it. That's it. Stability. Now, if you're just growing, if you're just chucking and way you're doing, which in a lot of cases is what I do, feminized beans aren't bad, you know? So that's it. That's a nutshell. That's the nutshell. I would say most of your original strains came from Spain. Oh, I don't know. You know, up in like in the Middle East, I'm pretty sure like in Afghanistan, Pakistan, that a lot came from there. I'm sure there was Colombia, like South America. Like this is no different than like fern. You know what I mean? Like it grows damn near everywhere. You know, you've got it in the Nordic regions, you've got it in the Middle East, you've got it in the regions in Canada or in North America, you know, South and North. So it's like Hindu Kush mountains. Yeah, all of it? I don't think so. I don't know. And it moved with people. Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, okay. So really, it doesn't just grow anywhere? Oh, it does now, but those are land races. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. They all came from one place? I didn't know that. Just like people. Eh? We're all from Africa. Yeah. Land races. Yeah, move with people. That's cool. That's cool. From many, many hundreds of thousands of years ago, probably. Daddy, I have some autos and I didn't use enough Gaia Green. I used 1 tablespoon instead of 3. Now I'm starting flower now and my plants hate me. I used a little bloom booster to help. And did I do it right thing? Any ideas? Chances are trying to correct it in flower is going to be really tough. If you're like a couple days into flower, I would probably just revert back to veg. But if you're weeks into flower, then it's going to be a bit of a battle to try to get her to rebound, because she's going to spend a lot of that time focusing on recovery rather than bud development, which can be a bit of an issue. So, yeah. It can be tough. Hey, the Bible. Worldwide, baby. Or if a bird eats a seed, then poops 200 kilometers away. Yeah, that happens. I have freaking peanuts in my yard all the time because the darn birds are dropping peanuts in my yard. I don't know who on earth has peanuts or who's feeding the birds peanuts in my community, but they're ended up in my yard. My dogs eat them. Mr. Puffin Stuff, hello. It used to be grown wild in the U.S. also, but it was killed out. Wonder what that used to smoke like. Could you imagine the original stuff? Bet you it was still great. You know, our tolerances would have been much lower back then. I'm not a huge fan of autos. You know, for a lot of the reason. Oh, you can't revert it back to veg. It's an auto. Oh my God, I forgot. I didn't read that part. Yeah, you're strapped in, ready to go. That's why I don't grow autos though, my friend. I like the control. Carl, I can't talk about that. At least the second part. I've been trying different genetics for years, looking for a big pusher, good terps. Crazy how different seeds, the same genetics, can yield different plants. Have any suggestions on? No, I can't. Yeah, I can't answer the second portion of that question based on terms of service with YouTube, but there are tons out there, man. And I actually have videos on genetics that I'm looking for. I can't tell you where to get them though. That's the thing. But autos deserve a place in your garden, but not mine. Yep, Ari, you're not wrong. I'm in Mississippi and grow indoors, but should I try outdoors even though it's really humid here? You should try everything once. Yeah, well, maybe not everything. But yeah, you should. You should. I think you could very well enjoy it. No autos for me. Yep, nope, not for me. Not for me. Um yeah, just not yeah. Autos have a place. Autos have a place. But before I talk about those autos, you guys already know I'm going to give a quick shout out to our sponsors because I'm going to talk for a couple more minutes, guys. First, I want to give a shout out to Stash Blend, man. Stash Blend. Stash Blend. An additive that the boys from the Stash and I are releasing on August 10th. We are having a live stream event on Twitch, twitch.tv/FromTheStash. Come join. Come join. Actually, here's the link. Copy that and put that in the chat. We want to see you guys there. We're going to have some guests. Okay, we're going to have some guests. So come hang out. Stash Blend. You can pre-order now. If you're in the UK, it'll open up to shipping real soon. If you're in Canada, we're working on getting that Canadian distributor. I think we've almost secured it, so hang on tight. Price of shipping is going to go down dramatically. Okay. Huge shout out to Spider Farmer, man. Spider Farmer, been in my tent for years. I love them. I think they're great lights. I think they're affordable. They're killing it right now. I personally use the SE 5000. I think that's the perfect light. Check that one out. You go to spiderfarmer.com, spider-farmer.com. Use promo code Pigeons420. Connect yourself up with the same lights. I also want to give a huge shout out to AC Infinity, man, only because we're having a blast over here and we're having lots of fun. And AC Infinity knows all about fun because I've partied with those guys, those girls over in Vegas. Huge shout out to AC Infinity, and that's what I'm talking about. I freaking love these guys because I've partied with them, man. These are the sponsors that I have. AC Infinity, man, #1 when it comes to smart equipment, circulations, humidifying in your garden. ACinfinity.com. Use promo code Pigeons420. Okay, you'll save a few dollars off at checkout. You'll help support the show because I also get a little bit. I think I get 10% from the sales on that as well. So I help support the show. So guys, thank you so much for all the love and support. ACinfinity.com. Okay, make sure you check those guys out. So my opinion on Autoflowers, I know you guys have heard this before. There is a place for them. You know, if you are growing in one tent, if you are growing outside in short summered climates, yeah, sure. Autoflowers, they're going to work great for you. Why in one tent? Well, you don't need to have a flower tent. You just need one tent, and that's a veg tent, and you can just have a perpetual garden going, have 2, 3 5-gallon pots on the side doing these autoflowers, and then have the next 2 constantly going. So you could have 4 plants constantly growing in one tent with autoflowers. That's pretty awesome, okay? That's about the biggest perk to autoflowers. Other than that, it's all downhill from there. I think autoflowers are where good genetics go to die. I also think that autoflowers are for beginners. Okay? Comment section hates it when I say that. You don't have to do anything. Plant it. You don't need to know about light cycles. You barely need to know how to feed it. It'll do everything on its own. You just need to add water and food. It's just like plant it, forget it. Okay? They're for beginners. Okay? You don't have to know anything. Just plant the autoflower. People hate when I say that. And it's like, no. Don't make it complicated. It's like if you don't want an easy start button to just plant and get, you know what I mean? Go to photo where you can start to train them, where you can start to experiment with a little more food, a little less food, a little more time in veg, a little less time in veg, a little more prep for flower, a little less prep for flower. These are things that I think that an experienced grower should be doing, not a novice, not a beginner. You should plant it, forget about it, and while it's growing, learn a little bit about it. See how it grows. Identify pistils. Because it's an autoflower. It's probably, are they feminized? I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure they're feminized too. An autoflower. So it's just like, anyways. So it like plant it and forget it. But like I said, and so if you're a beginner, if you are growing in one tent, or if you have short summered climates, that would be something that I would be considering. Autoflowers. Dude, you're looking good. Must be a new moisturizer. Honestly, it's no, I don't have any moisturizer. I'm still using the same stuff. No, it's this environment down here. It's got me all clammy looking, and I don't like it. But I'm glad you do. Thank you, Big Green. Stop it. So yeah, you can get regular autos. Okay. See, I don't do autos. Forget about that. So regular autos. So there's a whole other reason. There's another reason why I'd get it. It's like, so you're gonna go through the hassle of having this thing grow on its own. It could still be a male. You know what I mean? So, anyways, here's my problem. My plant grew balls. It's a dude. Killed it off. Yeah. Ryan, that's the way to do it. It's a dude. Yep. The way to get her done. Unfortunately, it's either it's gonna work out or it won't. Rip off the Band-Aid. If it's a dude, though, remember you can do things with your males, right? You can juice them. They're a great source of other cannabinoids other than THC. Believe it or not, males are great for CBD. Males have a ton of CBN, like a ton of cannabinoids, beneficial vitamins. So I actually use the males in my drinks because it works really well. So don't just throw them out, or you can compost them. Yep. You always start from bean, or do you clone? I do both. Yep. If I find something I like, I'll clone it. But I'm typically planted, and I'm not on a hunt right now. Not really. They're great for getting people started. Can have a first early harvest and then start vegging some photos. Rise, I totally agree. Yep, I totally agree. It's just, yeah, I got a little passionate there because people just don't like particularly passionate autoflower growers don't like it when you say that they're for beginners. And I'm not saying that experienced growers can't grow autoflowers. Of course they can. I've grown autoflowers. People think it's a misconception. He just said don't grow autoflowers because he can't grow autoflowers. Mom, did you watch his video? He said don't grow autoflowers. No, actually, just search the internet. I've grown dozens of autoflowers. That's not the point. The point is that they have a purpose, and it's just not here. They're for you. But I'm just saying, experienced growers can grow them really well. Experienced growers can train them. They can get incredible harvests off them. I've seen some massive autos, man. So yeah. There is a place. And I'm not saying, that yeah, there's a place. It's in your garden, not mine. You don't grow the males out though, do you, P? You just cut and juice, etc. Once you know it's a male. Yeah, one guy. Yep. As soon as I know it's a male, the reason you may or may not be able to see a little something right there. But as soon as I know it's a male, doink, she's done. Yep. Oh, there's someone I don't see anymore. Pilgor, Visible Farms. Good to see you, friend. Hoots up, brother. Cheers, friend. I can't do that here. I'm not allowed. That's why you guys follow me on Twitch, right? Twitch.tv/Pigeons420. I was gonna say From the Stash. August 10th, guys. Mark it in your calendar. August 10th. I downloaded it. Where? Right here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Check this out, guys. Check this out. August 10th. Mark it in your calendar. 4-hour live stream, guys. Twitch.tv/FromTheStash, guys. Oh, you read it right there? Booyah! So make sure you come check it out. It's going to be a lot of fun. Okay? A lot of fun. August 10th, twitch.tv/FromTheStash. It's right here. Booyah! Look for bulbs in the first 2 weeks of bloom and the last 4 weeks of bananas. Always. Actually, Andy, I can typically spot a male before flower. That's one thing that I think is really important too as a gardener, is to be able to identify sex before flower. Saves you a lot of problems. Generally speaking, stress induces pre-flowers. This is something I was talking on my Instagram as well too, at pigeons420. We were discussing that the more you stress the plant, you're going to see pre-flowers or pre-pollen sacs, I guess you will. I guess you can call it still flower. I don't know. Maybe you can't. But you can't. But if you get in nice and close, and on my Instagram, I got in there really close and I showed the difference. You could see the pollen and then sac, if you will. And then you could also see the calyx with the pistils coming out of it as well. So go check it out. If you have any questions, go check it out. And you guys can message me as well, but don't message me on Instagram because that's where messages go to die, unfortunately. But you can reach out to me on my Discord, or you can reach out to me on my Patreon, or you can come over to Twitch tonight at 9 p.m. Central, and I'll be live. We'll be coming to hang out. It's a much different live stream than this, I'll tell you that. Okay, so if you've never seen it, come hang out. You're going to have some fun. Here, I'll leave you a link. I was leaving a link for everybody else. Leave a link for my own stuff. Just a car crash away. Little Marilyn Manson in the background. Let's go. What's your mother room genetics? What's your mother room I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means, friend. Do you have any tips for the trim bowl? Trim wet. No, it was pretty straightforward. Yeah, make sure you got the right blades. That's important. Like 7 times. Oh, yeah, Marilyn, yeah. Oh, he's great. No moms, I believe. I don't have any mothers. No. I received the disappointment 9 months late. Really not dry. You got some dry? Really not dry? No. Oh. No, dry. Did I say trim wet? No. Trim dry. Trim dry. It has both options. I think I got confused. Really not dry? No. Trim dry. Hopefully nobody quit listening immediately after I said that. Oh well. No, well. Yeah. Well, guys, I should get out of here. I'm gonna go do yard work. Actually, I'm gonna go cut my grass. I want to thank you guys. For being here. I want to thank you guys for some wicked questions. This live stream, I'm going to take it down. I'm going to actually edit it to a more edited style, if you will. And I'll post this video maybe next week or something. No, I don't know if I'm going to post it. We'll see. It's one thing to do it live on here, and then it's one thing to post it. So we'll see. I normally go live on Twitch and then post those. But anyways, I'll figure it out. Just a reminder, August 10th at 10 a.m. Pacific, From the Stash is doing a 4-hour live stream. Guests, prizes, information. We're recording live episodes. Come hang out. It's going to be a blast. I know you'll love it. That's on twitch.tv/FromTheStash. So go to Twitch, From the Stash. You'll find us over there. I'll be live tonight, 9 p.m. Central. My boy broke his headphones, and now he wants my headphones. I'm going to get out of here. I'll be back tonight, 9 p.m. Central, twitch.tv/pigeons420. Guys, thanks for all the great questions and all the great times. I appreciate your faces. I will catch up with you guys tonight, hopefully. Come hang out on Twitch. It's fun. If I missed your question, I'll answer it there, okay? See you, one guy. See you, Daddy. Fat Stacks. I got it. See you, Ryan. See you, Matt. See you, Big Grow. I'll see you guys tonight. Peace out, guys. See you, Curly.